Hello everyone, good afternoon. I hope you all good. So let me check how many are there. So first, in the last session, I told you please write only one time that I'm present, sir, and my name is this. Like I'm giving an example, I'm Hemang, present, sir. Okay. So I hope this will you follow. And today I have that given the order in the Google Classroom that you have to submit your first worksheet, that is super senses. I have created this one for the lesson 1. So go here. The what is name is Maulik. Maulik Agarwal already sent me there. So please you all do this the same thing. Upload your worksheet so I can check it. Or the some other your friends which are not in the Google Classroom, please tell them to join or let us know. They provide us email ID and we will invite you. Okay. And one more thing, please, that is a humble request. Please do not make comment section for the chatting. Once you said na present, I'm Hemang, that's all. And then after that, we will ask only doubts or questions, not the other things. Sure? I hope you understand. So many students are there. So can we start without wasting any time? We will start studying our lesson 7 experiments with water. It is for class 5th. So in previous class we have completed some concept. So it's time to repeat it. So what floats, what sinks? What floats or what sinks? So class, in the previous session I told you that what things float, what sinks. Floating or sinking of an object does not depend on its weight, depends upon density. What? Density. Right? So when we have to upload, you can upload anytime better. After this class you can upload. I already told. Yes, better. So how to send worksheet tracker in Google Classroom? You have to go in classroom section. There you will find out the option your homework or your way. So that click on it, and after that you can see on the upper side attachment or file. Please create a PDF of your worksheet. So attachment, there you can find your PDF and you can send it there. Okay, and then when we receive we will check and we will return you after checking. Okay, sir, we have to write. No, Maulik, you don't need to write that already in your subject material. So just cool, sit there and try to listen and try to understand the concept. That's all. So we start. Yes, on Chandra Prakash Gupta ji, only that you have to send only chapter 1. I have created for this only chapter 1. That is super senses. Okay. So let me repeat it. Floating or sinking of an object does not depends on its weight. It depends upon its density. Right? So things denser than water sink in the water. Okay, things denser than water sink in water. So let me write here. Thing denser than water sink in water. Okay, that first thing. Chandra Prakash Gupta ji, what Density. Density is the we can say thickness of something. So you can see it is thick of 1 mm. So that is this pen density, right? You can see this duster, the density is 3 mm. So 1 inch we can say density, 2 inch, that is the thickness of something is called density. Got it? Okay, so things having less denser than water float over it. Second one, things having less density or less denser, things less denser than water float over it. Okay, now you got my point. Density is the thickness of thing. Like suppose our human body is made of muscles, na? So our muscles are denser than water. So if I jump in the swimming pool and I'm not moving, so what will happen to me? I will drown on it, right? So if suppose I have a stone density is more than water. If I put stone on the water, so then stone will sink in it. So I hope this concept you understand. What is that? In class, only lesson related comments you will type. Sir, the connection is not working, because I can see myself in a desktop here, so I can see there is no problem of net. Your internet connection may be slow, so try to just refresh the page or wait for some time until your connection working fine. So here there is no problem. Just type only. You have doubt, that you type only that. Other you're sending the smileys, angry, happy, hello, hi. Please don't. That's time for the study. Only study. So the next. So now you understand what is the density, thickness of something, that is called density. So everything around us is made up of small molecules. In the last time na I made two things. I have told you that is less thick. Let me again. So suppose I have two objects here. Okay, everything around us, like this pen, like body, cloth, specs, everything around us made of small molecules. What is that? Molecules. Small molecules. Shivam beta, you are late. Try to come early because you have missed one concept today. So everything around is made of small molecules, and some is the made of loosely packed molecule. Means they are not that much closer. Like that. Like last day we take example of potato and tomato, na? So potato or tomato, which one is example of loosely packed molecule? Yes. Please write fast. Kayatali, why the boat float on water? We will talk on that, beta. First, we complete this one, and after we will move on that part. Please, fast tomato. Yes, you're right, beta. Tomato have loosely packed molecules, means less density. That object have loosely packed molecules that will have less density. Or less density mean thing less denser that water that than water that float over it. Remember, here we write here now. So come on the next one. And some are tightly packed together molecules. like this. Like we take example of last day, potato. Cool. So potato is example of more density, more dense we can say. Okay. So now you understand. So the next one is like how the ship float. One person asked me about that. The how the ships float. Remember? You know, last day I took example of I told you there is a two type of force work on the water. The one is gravitational force, and you know what the gravity do. Gravity pull everything down. If I throw this pen like this, so it comes down. It is not flying. It is not stuck in the air. It comes down. And what kind of force work behind it? There is gravitational force. So that's why on the earth, if I jump, so I will not fly in the sky. But if you are on the moon, there is no gravity. So you can jump so long. Yes, you can float there. Like in space, there is no gravity. So you can jump so long. Okay? But when I jump, that gravity works. That's pull me down. No, don't fly like this. So let me tell you. So this you understand now? Molecules. So what are the molecules? Molecules is the smallest unit of something or anything we can say. Smallest unit. Molecule is what? Smallest unit of a thing, of a substance. Okay, that is smallest unit. Be remember, boats are loose molecules. No beta, boats are made of metal like steel, iron, and they are more dense than water. More dense. But more dense, here we read or write here that sink in the water. But why not? Why not boat or cruise ship? So let's find out. So, yes, Kavi, gravitational force pulls everything down. So, if you are in the water, there are two forces working. Now, suppose we are in the sea. We are on a boat in the sea, and that is cruise ship. Okay, that is all water. So, suppose this is my ship. It does not look like ship, but suppose this is the ship, and we are on it with the fifth class. Okay, so gravity is saying that everything will goes down, right? There is gravitational force, but ship is floating, right? But why? Because when you this water is also have a force that is called buoyant force. That is buoyant force, and the water start pushing everything up on the upside like this, like this. So if buoyant force is more than gravitational force, so that thing will float over water. That is the reason behind this. Okay, so mean if gravitational force is more is gravitational force is more than buoyant force, so that ship will sink in it. So let me tell you in a simple way, very simple. That is so complicated. Buoyant force, gravitational force. Let me make very clear. When an object displays more water than its weight, it means that will float over it. I'm repeating it. Please try to listen, and I'm saying it slowly. When an object displays more water than its weight, suppose my weight is 80-90 kg. If I'm in the swimming pool, if I can displace more water with my hand or leg, so that means I can swim. Or if I cannot displace more water than my body weight, it means I will down in the water. Understand? That concept is called that how the cruise ship float on the over water. Understand? So take example of iron nail. Iron nail weight is suppose 70 grams. Okay, when we put iron nail in the jar of water, so it is not displacing more water than its weight. Suppose iron nail weight is 70 grams and it is displacing 50 grams. So 50 gram is displacing and 70 grams body weight. So what does mean? The iron nail will sink in it. If suppose 70 gram is weight and it is displacing 80 gram. So what's that mean? It's mean it will float over it. Buoyant force क्या करता है? Buoyant force बेटा आपने कल टोमेटो वाला एग्जांपल देखा ना, जब ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स किसी चीज को नीचे डालती है ना तो वाटर अपना फोर्स उसे ऊपर धकेलने के लिए लगाता है. अगर buoyant फोर्स ज्यादा है तो वो चीज उसे ऊपर रखेगी, अगर ग्रेविटी ज्यादा है तो वो चीज सिंक हो जाएगी. अंडरस्टैंड? सेम हमारे साथ स्विमिंग पूल में होता है. व्हेन वी आर इन द स्विमिंग पूल ना, when we are swimming like we are moving our hand or leg, it's mean we can swim only that if we displace more water than our body weight. That is behind the cruise ship. Cruise ship is displacing more water than its weight. Okay, so that mean they float over it. But the concept change here. First we read about thing denser than water that sink, but ship is denser than water. It is float because it displays more water than its body weight. So I hope now you understand. प्लीज हिंदी में एक्सप्लेन करें बेटा. जब शिप कोई चलती ना पानी में, सपोज एक शिप का वेट है 100 kg, छोटी शिप है, हमने घर पे बनाई है, 100 किलो की है, वो शिप चल रही है, राइट? अगर वो शिप तब तक फ्लोट करेगी जब तक वो अपने बॉडी वेट, मेरा जितना वेट है ना उस शिप का, वो जितना अपने वेट से ज्यादा पानी अगर हटा रही है तो इट्स मीन वो ऊपर फ्लोट करेगी. अगर वो अपने वेट से ज्यादा पानी नहीं हटा रही है, जैसे शिप हमने पानी में डाला, वो सिंक होना स्टार्ट होगी. आप समझ रहे हो? कल टोमेटो को हमने पानी में डाला, वो पोटैटो से ज्यादा था, लेकिन वो उससे ज्यादा पानी डिस्प्लेस कर रहा था, बट पोटैटो अपने वेट से ज्यादा पानी डिस्प्लेस नहीं कर रहा था. I'm sorry. Does the cotton float or sink? Cotton first float and then after absorbing the water it will sink in it. Like we can take example of the Aishas. In the first phase you can see they are making a puri. First they make a dough of puri, then they roll it. Okay? And when you put puri first, you can see in the kadai or in the pan, puri first sink to the bottom of the pan. Then slowly as the puri become fat, puri fat होती ना, फूल जाती वो, as the puri become fat it comes up and start floating in the oil. Understand? So I hope why the ships float and why iron nail sink, that you understand or not, just let me know in the box float or not. Which box, beta? It depends. So, class, I'm repeating it for you again. Just try to listen very clear. First, iron nail sink in the water because it is not displacing more water than its weight. First thing is clear. Second, ships or cruise ships that float over water because they displace more water than its weight. Clear? आप स्विमिंग करना तब सीख जाते हैं जब आप अपने बॉडी से ज्यादा वाटर डिस्प्लेस करते हैं. जैसे ही आप हाथ और पांव हिलाना बंद करोगे तो आप क्या हो जाओगे? जब आप अपने बॉडी वेट से ज्यादा वाटर डिस्प्लेस नहीं कर रहे हैं, इट्स मीन यू विल गोइंग डाउन इन द वाटर. And when you move your hand and legs and you are displacing more water than your body weight, then you start swimming. That's the logic behind it. Displace means हटाना बेटा, हटाना. Displacing is to move one place to other. जब मैं अपने हाथ हिलाऊंगा तो वाटर को मैं डिस्प्लेस ही कर रहा हूं ना, यहां से पानी को उधर कर रहा हूं. That means to move करते हैं. अवनी बेटा, you are so late. You should come earlier. Why needle sink? Prakhar, I just told you, needle weight is suppose 10 gram. Okay? And when I put in the water, it displays 5 gram of water. Means it is not displacing more weight than its body weight. अगर ये 10 ग्राम से ज्यादा वेट अब वाटर का डिस्प्लेस करेगा तो वो फ्लोट करेगा, लेकिन वो कम करते हैं मीन सिंक हो रहे हैं. So in the last session, in the previous chapter number 6, in chapter 6 somebody asked me about the that Dead Sea. You remember? So let's talk about Dead Sea, and I will show you how the normal water works, how the Dead Sea work. So are you ready for that? Sir, all type of water is same. No beta, all type of water is not same. Salty water, all the oceans and sea water is salty. That is different. That we drink that water, that is different. And the Dead Sea water is different than the other one. Because in Dead Sea there are that we can say saltiest of the all. That is the saltiest. Yes, Chavis, you are right. But at Dead Sea there are so much salt, so we will float. You know, more salt means their density is so much. So I will demonstrate here live how the Dead Sea work. So first we will talk about Dead Sea. So we will talk about Dead Sea. Why called Dead Sea? All oceans are salty, but the other oceans have many fishes, shark also. But why Dead Sea? It means Dead Sea is the saltiest of the sea. So in that water, no one can live there. Like fishes, they cannot live there. Because I'm just giving you an example. You can take example from the 1 liter of Dead Sea, we can get 300 gram salt. That much saltiest means too bitter. That is too bitter. So that's why it's called Dead Sea, because nothing can live there. Okay, and no fishes can live in that Dead Sea's water. Got it? And the Dead Sea is on, we can say, one part in the border of Jordan, second part is in the border of Israel. There is this long Dead Sea is as long, the one part in the Jordan's border and one part in the Israel's border. So you can find out many videos on the YouTube that people are floating on the over the Dead Sea. So let's demonstrate. It is salty. So, okay, you're right, better. Trucker, you're right. It is salty, not bitter. It is saltiest than the other all other seas. So you can see that is a jar of full of the water, and that is a lemon, right? So can you tell me the lemon will float or sink? So please write answer fast. We have less time and we have to demonstrate that thing. We will make this water turn into the Dead Sea's water. So the lemon also start floating like the other one. Float, 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 sink, sink. Means a lot of confusion is there. Float, 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 lemon float. Yes. And see how salty water goes, so salty better. Even we cannot taste it. When we taste na, we will suffer from the loose motion or the vomiting. So that is not good for us. Float, float, float. Okay, a lot of confusing. I'm putting in the jar. Now you can see. It's at the bottom. You can see it's float or sink. It sinks because it's normal water and the lemon density is more than water. And why lemon is not floating? First, density is more than water. Second, it is not displacing more water than its body weight. So its weight is suppose is 50 gram. It is not displacing more water. So that's sink. In Dead Sea, everything can float. Yes, beta. Because the density is so thick. So I have salt. I will put salt in this jar and you will see when I'm putting the salt in it now, the water become more salty, and the lemon will start floating. That much salt you will put in, that lemon start floating. Like if I'm putting less amount, so it will start floating at the there. If I'm putting more there, if I'm putting more, if that water is equal to Dead Sea, it will start floating at the top. So let's find out. Okay, let's do it. Do it. So let me mix it. On the next class now, we will study about what things are soluble, which are not soluble, means which easily can mix in the water and which are not. So salt is easily we can say soluble in the water. Now you can see. Now the lemon is floating. You can see everyone. After mixing a lot of salt in the water, it start floating. If I put the less salt na, then it will be at the middle of the jar. You can do the same experiment at your home. Start putting less salt and you can see after putting each or every spoon, it start floating from the bottom and it will come like this. I mix that a lot of salt, that it start floating. Now you can see. So that is a Dead Sea. So let me mix a lot of. And what makes salt in it? It make more dense. More dense means thing will float over it. Now you can understand better. Now you can see now the lemon is floating. Yeah. So about this class, is there any doubt? So what we learned today? What floats, what sinks, what is the density, what is the molecules, okay? Why the potato sink in it, why the tomato float, and how the ships float on the seawater. that you learned or not? Just let me know what is the Dead Sea and where it is, that you also know, on the border of the Jordan and the other part in the Israel, right? So in the 1 liter of the Dead Sea's water, how much we can get the salt? That is 300 grams. So is there any doubt regarding this class? Please let me know right now. There is a 5 to 10 minutes for the doubt solving. So aeroplane floats in Dead Sea. I never saw that any aeroplane that crashed over the Dead Sea. Where from the salt come in the sea? It is already in the water, beta. But where we getting the salt? We taking from the sea water. We put in the shallow beds, and that we just let for the dry, the evaporation process, and then at the end we got salt. That is the process. In the next class we will describe that thing. Sir, it is done in the class 4th. Yes, beta. We already talked about that. समुद्र में चलती पानी कहाँ से आता है? It's because of the wave, beta. Because the water moves, it's wave. Yes, Akshita, you have to upload the worksheet of the lesson 1, that is super senses. It is very simple, beta. When anything is displaced more water than its weight, that float. चाहे वो स्टोन भी हो, अगर स्टोन भी पानी में तैर रहा है तो इट्स मीन वो अपने बॉडी वेट से ज्यादा पानी हटा रहा है. दैट्स व्हाई. थैंक यू चार्वेश. इज देयर एनी डाउट? प्लीज राइट इट फास्ट. Any doubt? Do not think over that. If I'm asked doubt, the others will think that I did not understand. Don't think ever about it. If you have any doubt, I'm your teacher. You ask freely, and I will give the answer more freely. No doubt, no doubt. Please fast. Or is there any student that need the or YouTube channel? Then you forward it to also. Okay, I think, okay, one question. How the waves meets in the water? Because of the movement of the water, beta. Just take a bowl of water and just put one thing on it. The waves. Because the water is not still there. It's moving. You can send your worksheet on today onwards. After this class, just upload. I will check it. So that's all for the day. I hope you understand all the things. If you did not, do not shy. Ask me about anything. So we will help you better. So have a good day. Take your lunch, rest, and beware from the COVID-19. Bye bye. See ya. Take care. Kritika. Shall ship has nail. So how it can float? बेटा शिप कंसेप्ट इज दैट शिप फ्लोट. अब मैं आपको एक अच्छा एग्जांपल देता हूँ. सपोज आप भी अगर वाटर में जाओगे, आपको स्विमिंग नहीं आती, तो आप भी नीचे जाएंगे, हम सभी. बट अगर आप जैसे अपने मूवमेंट करेंगे, हैंड्स एंड लेग, आप शिप का एग्जांपल ले सकते हैं. अगर आप अपने बॉडी वेट से ज्यादा पानी डिस्प्लेस कर रहे हैं, डिस्प्लेस मीन्स हटाना. जैसे शिप भी मूवमेंट करती है ना, तो पानी हटाकर चलती है. आपने देखा होगा कभी. वो अपने बॉडी वेट से ज्यादा डिस्प्लेस करते हैं, इसलिए वो फ्लोट करते हैं. अंडरस्टैंड? स्विमिंग भी ऐसे ही सीखी जाती है. स्विमिंग जब आप इतनी एनर्जी से स्विम करते हैं कि आप अपने बॉडी वेट से ज्यादा पानी हटा रहे हैं। अगर आपने स्विमिंग की है तो आप ये समझ जाएंगे, नहीं किए तो सीख लेना, ठीक है। आप अपने बॉडी वेट से पानी अगर ज्यादा हटा रहे हैं तो आप स्विम करेंगे, अदरवाइज आप नीचे जाएंगे। सो बाय क्लास।